Good day to all PH Trendz viewers. Our topic for today is about Game of Thrones artist Dame Diana Rigg. But before that, please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates. Diana Elizabeth Rigg was born on July 20, 1938, in Doncaster, Yorkshire, the daughter of a railroad engineer who soon moved his family to India for a job with the National Railway. She returned to England when she was 8 to attend boarding school and remained in the country to complete her education. Miss Rigg entered the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art at 17 and made her professional debut 2 years later, in 1957, in Brecht's drama The Caucasian Chalk Circle. As a member of the Royal Shakespeare Company, 1959-64, she began in minor parts and advanced to major ones, including Lady Macduff in Macbeth and Bianca in The Taming of the Shrew. Miss Rigg also played many classic roles on stage in both New York and London and, late in her career, found new fans on Game of Thrones. Miss Rigg was made a Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 1988 and a Dame Commander in 1994. Her marriages to Menachem Geffen, an Israeli artist 1973-76, and to Archibald Sterling, a Scottish businessman and theatre producer 1982-90 ended in divorce. Her surviving daughter, Rachel, from her second marriage, is an actress. Miss Rigg is also survived by a grandson. Although Miss Rigg's career was distinguished, it had disappointing if not unpleasant moments. An American sitcom, Diana, 1973, in which she played a fashion designer on her own in New York, lasted only 1 season. And when she did a much talked about nude scene on Broadway in Abelard and Hellas 1971, she was nominated for a Tony but suffered the particular slings and arrows of one critic, John Simon of New York Magazine, who was notorious for criticizing actors' looks and described her as built like a brick mausoleum with insufficient flying buttresses. Miss Rigg fought back at critics in general by compiling similarly unkind criticism in a 1983 book, No Turn on Stone, The Worst Ever Theatrical Reviews. Its reassuring examples included a comparison by the Australian broadcaster Clive James of Laurence Olivier's Shylock to the cartoon character Scrooge McDuck. Diana Rigg, the British actress who enthralled London and New York theatre audiences with her performances in classic roles for more than a half-century but remained best known as the quintessential new woman of the 1960s, sexy, confident, witty and crotty adept on the television series The Avengers, died on Thursday at her home in London. She was 82. Her daughter, Rachel Sterling, said in a statement that the cause was cancer. Miss Rigg had late career success in a recurring role, from 2013 to 2016, as the outspoken and demanding Lady Olenna Tyrell on HBO acclaimed series Game of Thrones. "I wonder if you're the worst person I ever met," Lady Olenna once said to her nemesis Cersei Lannister, Lena Headey. "At a certain age, it's hard to recall." But Miss Rigg's first and biggest taste of stardom came in 1965, when, as a 26-year-old veteran of the Royal Shakespeare Company, she was cast on the 4th season of ITV The Avengers. As Emma Peel, she was the stylish new crime-fighting partner of the dapper intelligence agent John Steed, Patrick Macnee, replacing Honor Blackman, who had left to star in the James Bond film Goldfinger. Although Mrs. Peel, as Steed frequently addressed her, remained on the show relatively briefly, she quickly became the star attraction, especially when The Avengers was broadcast in the United States, beginning in 1966. Reviewing the 1969 movie The Assassination Bureau, in which she starred, Vincent Canby of the New York Times described Miss Rigg in her Emma Peel persona as a tall, light Modigliani of a girl with the sweet sophistication of Nora Charles and the biceps of Barbarella. She She had left the show by then for a luminous career in feature films. Her other roles included Helena in Peter Hall's A Midsummer Night's Dream, 1960, Portia in an all-star version of Julius Caesar, 1970, a free spirit who tempted George C. Scott in Arthur Hiller and Patty Chayefsky's Satire the Hospital, 1971, and the cheated-on wife in Harold Prince's interpretation of the Stephen Sondheim musical A Little Night Music, 1970. But again, it was for something of an action role that she received the greatest attention, when she played a crime boss's daughter in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, 1969, the only James Bond film to star George Lazenby. Her character had the distinction among Agent 007's movie love interests of actually marrying Bond, but she was killed off in the final scene, for the sake of future plot lines. Miss Rigg returned to television, largely in more serious roles than before, among them Clytemnestra, Hedda Regan in King Lear, and Lady Dedlock in Bleak House. And although she said that she was not a fan of mysteries herself, she was a host of the PBS series Mystery from 1989 to 2003 and played Gladys Mitchell's unconventional detective Adela Bradley on the BBC series The Mrs. Bradley Mysteries from 1998 to 2000. Miss Rigg never neglected the theatre, where she had begun. She joined the National Theatre Company in 1972 and went on to acclaimed performances both on Broadway and in the West End, interpreting writers as different as Tom Stoppard, Night and Day, Jumpers and Mr. Sondheim, a 1987 London production of Follies. She continued working in theatre well into her 70s, starring in The Cherry Orchard in 2008 and Hay Fever in 2009, both at the Chichester Festival Theatre. One of her final stage roles was as Mrs. Higgins, the protagonist's imperious but sensible mother, in a 2011 production of Pygmalion at the Garrick Theatre in London. 37 years before, at what was then the Albury Theatre, a few streets away, she had been the play's ingenue, Eliza Doolittle. She played Mrs. Higgins again in the 2018 Lincoln Center Theatre revival of My Fair Lady. Wherever Miss Rigg went, honors seemed to follow. She received the 1994 Tony Award for Best Actress in a play for her performance in the title role of Medea. In London, she had already received the Evening Standard Theatre Award for the same role, an honor she received again, in 1996, for both Edward Albee's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and Bertolt Brecht's Mother Courage and Her Children. She never won the Olivier Award, London's Tony equivalent, but she was nominated 3 times for Mother Courage, Virginia Woolf and Jean Racine's Britannicus/Better. Thank you for visiting and watching PH Trendz videos.